Let's talk about sermon graphic creation. Hi, my name is Sarah. I'm with Mission Media. I'm a small church art director, and I'm here to talk to you about creating a sermon graphic that goes with your pastor's vision for that Sunday. Here's the graphic that I created for this Sunday. This Sunday's title was, as you can see, let's go to the other side. And if you would like to make a graphic like this, follow along in this tutorial and I can give you some tips, some pointers, and show you my creative process. We have a subscription to Envato Elements. It is super helpful. It's got lots of fonts, pictures, videos. No, this is not a paid advertisement thing. It's just a tool I use. Okay, so it comes highly recommended. So I'm going through Envato's pictures, kind of trying to select something that I think would go with my pastor's sermon. This Sunday, he's decided that he's going to preach on, let's go to the other side, and it's on Matthew chapter 14 where Jesus walks on the water and Jesus calls Peter out to walk onto the water. I picked a few images. It's not good to just do one, okay? You want to make sure that you have a couple. Save it in your sermon folder. I save it under an inspiration folder. So I'm just going and making sure I'm keeping all my files organized during the process, because the last thing you want to do is just have files scattered everywhere, all willy-nilly. Then when you go to find something later, you're going to have a hard time because you're going to need some of this for during the week for content creation. So now we're going to create a new file in Photoshop. We're going to name it the same as the sermon. And then the width is going to be 1920 by 1080 because that's our projector's aspect ratio. Projector. LED screen. The resolution is 72, and I want to make sure I set this at a transparent background. I should have set this to be an artboard just because I like to. Just in case I decide to create more than one, I just kind of like to have that ready. Okay, so as you can see, I did choose another image and I worked on it a little, didn't like it, so I'm starting over. I feel like it didn't illustrate my pastor's point well enough. Now, I'm going to stop here for a second. So what I'm doing right now is I've used the lasso tool and I have gone around the image area that I need to be generated. As you can see, this photo isn't big enough to fit my surface area. And if I stretch it out, I feel like I'm going to lose some of the details that I really want to keep. I would like to keep this where it's more of a landscape and it's not so up close. So what I did was I took the lasso tool, I circled and made sure to get some of the image because the AI tool needs something to draw from. So I circled the image and the area that I need generated. And the prompt that I did write was generate the rest of this image to fill the transparent area or something to that nature. So then after I do that and I click generate, it'll give me a couple of different options that I can choose from in the upper right hand corner. As you can see here, I kind of pick which one I like the most, and now I'm going to begin to add the font. Okay, this seems to be the hardest, longest process for me. So under the layer options, I actually chose color burn. And for the font that's over the darker area, I did choose a lighter color, kind of like a gray blue. And here goes the font selection process. As you can see, I'm super picky. I have thousands of fonts. I'm ridiculous. And the font that I did choose was Couture, and I still didn't like it. So what I actually did was I stretched it this way and this way to get it to look the exact way I wanted it to. I usually don't recommend stretching fonts because the font designers know exactly what they're doing, but sometimes it's fun to play with that kind of stuff, you know? Now I'm going to italicize it and then duplicate the layer and change it to the rest of the title. I'm putting that part of the title over a lighter area, so I need to change the color of the font to something darker. And I believe I am keeping it at the color burn behavior for that layer. So now I'm making it even with the horizon in the picture because I really want to blend it into the picture. So now I'm going to take both of those title font layers and I'm going to put them into a folder. And on the folder, I am going to add a layer mask. Now I'm going to get my soft paintbrush. And you have to make sure that you turn the paintbrush color to black because a layer mask is automatically white. And what you're trying to do is erase some of that lower part of the title where it interacts with the horizon. I want it to fade in to the background or into the horizon. So I'm going along and I am painting the whole horizon with it small at first. Then I'm going to increase the size of the brush and I am going to paint some at the bottom, kind of like making it look like parts of it's fading in because there's fog in the image. So I really want it to look like there's fog kind of settled at the bottom of the image and then going up some of the letters, especially on that O. The O seems to be interacting with the clouds the most. So we're going to put our logo on our image. We're going to save it as a Photoshop file in JPEGs or PNGs, whichever you prefer. Putting it in my main folder that's in my sermon graphic folder. I also like to save one of these images without the font on there so then I can use it to put scriptures up when my pastor's preaching. Then we put our scriptures up through ProPresenter. As you can see, our image worked really nicely on our projector. I like how both sides fade into the background some, where it says let's inside. You can still understand. You have to make sure that everything you make is legible, but it's good to leave room for some artistic expression. And here you see how we have our scriptures laid out. They're completely right, justified. And we also use a scripture reference, a little pop of orange, which adds a little color to our stage. We used on our stage lights, we used blue at the top, orange at the bottom, orange as a little bit of tie-in for that scripture. And this was our sermon graphic creation for this particular Sunday, which so happened to be Let's Go to the Other Side. If you like this video and you'd like to see more like it, please like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. We'll see you next time. You know what's absolutely ridiculous? When you make the whole video and you don't press the record button. Yeah. Don't do that.